So Glenn, the last two matches have been at home. Good win over Worcester, great forward performance. A draw against Sale, from where we were in the game to come back from 10 points down to get a draw may not be the worst result in the world. What's your assessment of the last two games?
Yeah, I think it's the Worcester game was a really good effort. It was certainly a different way. We hadn't intended to go out there to win the game in that way, but we just found an opportunity. I think the players responded brilliantly and tactically just kept pushing the advantage through that part of the team. And it was a good performance up front. We've had great performances out wide, and I think we're taking steps towards becoming a more complete side, which you need to have more than one string to your bow. And I think London Irish has always been renowned as a team with a lot of attacking flair, but when you live in the winters in the UK, it's not always the opportunity to play that way is there, so you have to develop a base. So I think we were pleased with that, but I guess then we come into the Sale game, we got off to a flyer, and we were 14 points to 3 up and looking pretty good, but some of the errors we made in that game with handling and particularly tackling was not our normal standard, so we were a bit disappointed with that in terms of the draw. And we'll certainly take the points because points are always very important, but we certainly had an opportunity to close that game out, and the best thing we can do from that now is learn from it and make sure that when we're in that situation again that we do the right things.
Week off this week, you've been very proactive in organising a trip to Portugal, give some of the squad players a bit of game time. How productive will this trip be for you?
I think it'll be massive. I think it's great to get us away together. We can have some good conversations about what we've done this year in a different environment, and freshening things up by going to different places. You get a bit of an energy boost from that. We're going to have a game against the Army, which will be pretty tough, so some guys who haven't had lots of rugby will get a chance to show there. And I think the key thing is that there's selection up for grabs against Exeter, so if people put in good performances, then they'll get rewarded.
That's been a big thing for London Irish this season. I mean, it's not really been mentioned in great detail, but there's been a huge amount of injuries this season. Is it good now to have so many players back available for selections, fighting for places?
Absolutely, it's the only way that you keep people performing. And by nature, if someone's in competition, they'll keep being motivated and performing, and you'll get consistency out of them. And I think that sometimes when the injuries have taken over, we've had to rely on the same guys doing the job. The difficulty with that is they play all week and then we have to train them all week, so you get this spire. So keeping people fresh has been a problem for us this year. It's certainly something that we're looking to address going forward with some new guys coming in. So the hope is that we get a more balanced squad, and we can sort of get through a season without as many injuries as we've had this year.
And looking ahead to Exeter in a couple of weeks, huge forward pack, very dogged side. What sort of a challenge are you expecting down in Exeter?
Oh, Exeter are a great club, I've known them for a long time, seen them come through the championship, and a lot of the players that were in the club then are still there, and they certainly still have the same attitude, the work ethic, the values they operate under there are fantastic. And Rob Baxter and Ali Heifer do a great job there to maintain playing to their strength, and I would say that if people assess Exeter, they wouldn't say they're the flashiest team, but I think that's a little bit of a misnomer, because they actually do play a lot of rugby. They move the ball brilliantly, but it's built on work rate, enthusiasm and desire, and that's what you get at Exeter. It's a tough place to play. Sandy Park is a venue up on a hill, so there's a bit of breeze there to deal with, but they'll bring a pretty determined physical effort, so we'll have to be ready for it.